Hello and welcome to the Office of the Patriot. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, welcome back and thank you for your continued viewership. It is appreciated. My name is Myron Ybarra and I'm your host. Today I'm going to talk about election integrity. If you're like me, you're probably more than a little tired of the media pundits and pompous politicians clamoring on about the 2022 midterm election results. However, just because I'm tired of hearing the lies, excuses, and grandstanding doesn't mean that I'm indifferent to what's going on. So here's my take. But before I start, I want to ask a favor. If you're new to my channel, please comment below on how you came to find my channel, the Office of the Patriot. This will help me determine what routes I should take to successfully promote this channel, and your help will be appreciated. So let's dissect the present issues surrounding election integrity, but to do this I need to go back to just after the 2016 presidential election. Liberal news sources and Democrat politicians were up in arms with the election results that put Donald Trump into the White House as the 45th president of the United States. If you were like me, you heard a number of these liberal media personalities and Democrat politicians inferring that the 2016 election was stolen as a result of Donald Trump's alleged relationship with Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia. Investigations ensued, and for 4 years, social media was ablaze with conspiracy theory after conspiracy theory about the illegitimacy of Donald Trump's presidency. During that time, I remember responding to a number of different social media posts that tagged one article or another claiming that there was a bombshell bit of information that would prove that Vladimir Putin installed Donald Trump as the President of the United States, making his presidency illegitimate. Most conservatives I know relegated this talk to humorous at best, slightly irritating at worst. Still, I can't recall one conservative media broadcaster, conservative social media personality, or conservative politician that called for censoring of this speech. In fact, the United States DOJ and FBI conducted numerous investigations during the Trump presidency of the possibility of Russian interference, as well as President Trump's alleged relationship with Vladimir Putin. And after 2 unsuccessful attempts to secure an impeachment conviction by the Senate to impeach Trump, the Democrats continue to this day to assert that the 2016 election was stolen. After the 2016 election and the 2018 midterm elections, Democrats slowly consolidated congressional power, making changes to individual state voter laws that promoted mail-in ballots, ballot harvesting, and voting without ID in key battleground states. For those of you who don't know what ballot harvesting is, it's when people, usually working for one political party, collect ballots from voters and take them to polling locations. I'm sure you can see how this practice could easily sanction one political party over another because there's no chain of evidence for the ballots. Prior to the 2020 election, many of these new voting procedures were not in place, and as a result, domestic election integrity wasn't questioned. Of course, there were allegations about external interference, but our own election processes were generally viewed as legitimate. It wasn't until 2020 when President-elect Biden won to become the 46th president of the United States that these new voting laws and procedures became suspect. Why? Well, because President Biden, an aging and arguably intellectually inept candidate, won the popular vote by over 7 million votes, 81 million to the incumbent, President Trump, 74 million. What makes this so incredible is that until this election, President Obama had the highest popular vote on record, over 69 million votes. In the 2020 election, Donald Trump eclipsed that popular vote total by just under 5 million votes, a reasonable amount given the overwhelming and visible public support he received during his campaign. However, President Obama was only beat out by his vice president, who he didn't even endorse, by 12 million votes. And it was the largest vote jump in election history by over 19 million votes compared to 2016. Still, though many conservatives were disappointed in the 2020 election results, most believe that President Biden received the votes not as an endorsement of his policies, but as a referendum against President Trump. Although the possibility of malfeasance was still in the back of their minds, It wasn't until the 2022 midterms, this election cycle, that there was enough uncertainty and doubt with the election processes given the numerous issues states had during the election that solidified the concern that election integrity was in question. Even so, it would probably be an easier pill to swallow if all the states in the nation had experienced similar issues. But Florida was able to reconcile all of their ballots on Election Day and deliver their results on the same night. This was because Florida reset back to early voting laws where ID was required, absentee ballots were issued by request only, no ballot harvesting was allowed, and only paper ballots were issued. This ensured the United States citizens voted, and a physical paper trail of every ballot was available for review. I believe most Americans can reconcile the fact that their candidate or candidates didn't win. That is, only if they believe that the voting process isn't tainted and there is unbiased oversight. It is the government's obligation to demonstrate the integrity of our elections so that the findings, whatever they may be, can be accepted by all parties. Government transparency can only be obtained through a neutral bureaucracy, and a bureaucracy is by design supposed to be transparent. Just look at all those steps you have to go through at the DMV to get your ID. They aren't there just to annoy you. They're there to ensure that every citizen is serviced according to law, and the process can be retraced if there's a need to do so. If the bureaucracy becomes beholden to only one party within the government, then it's no longer a bureaucracy. It's a cabal. When citizens express concern about malfeasance and election integrity, government has an obligation to demonstrate that the process was fair, unbiased, and completed in accordance with established law and policy. As an example, take a look at our society's largest and most popular pastime, sports. As technology has improved, so have rulings at sporting events. When play is completed and ruled on by the referee or umpire, if the ruling is questionable, and the players and coaches can contest the ruling. After a thorough review and vetting of that play, an unbiased decision will be rendered. The same oversight that coaches and players have during a game, we the people are entitled to have for our elections. When government takes steps to quash these concerns by calling those who express them election deniers, then people will begin to formulate their own opinions and present them as fact. When free speech is curtailed by legacy and social media at the behest of the party in power, and elections are slanted only to ensure that one party prevails, then the Democrats' mantra of voting to save our democracy will be for nothing, because it will already be lost. That concludes this presentation of the Office of the Patriot. I want to thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed what was presented, please take the time to subscribe, smash the like button, and share my channel on your social media. It's always appreciated. And as always, have a great day and stay safe out there.